Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're having a great Friday. Mike here, and I just want to give you all an update on what's going on across the area. Please give me a thumbs up or a comment. Just let me know you guys can hear me all right here, and we'll get started. So this is what we got going on right now. The remnants of Debby still moving through the area, bringing heavy rain to parts of northeast and central Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, that has led to some flooding issues for some of us. So let's get right into it here on what we have on the latest. So radar and satellite, here's a look at the current radar with the warnings. In fact, they just issued another flood warning. So you could see the rain, heavy rain at times still coming down in parts of northeast and central Pennsylvania. We'll zoom in here real quick, take this full screen for you. And you can see that heavy rain still coming through the Bradford County area. So Towanda seeing that moderate to heavy rain. Same thing. This will be moving into, I'll put the loop on here for you. You'll move into the Susquehanna County region too. And we already have that flash flood warning with the considerable tag. That's that blue box in that area. So we'll be watching for that. Unfortunately, they've been seeing some flooding in Susquehanna County so far. So we'll continue to monitor that with this heavy rain, this next batch about to move in from Bradford County. Wayne County right now in a little bit of a lull, it looks like. Actually, we'll stop it here. You can see some light rain in the Hancock and Honesdale area, and then Pike County as well. Pike County not really seeing much at the moment, and Monroe County in a bit of a lull. So that's going to help keep the rain totals down. That's also going to help keep the flooding threat down in those areas out in eastern Pennsylvania. We are seeing rain, though, in the Back Mountain and Wilkes-Barre area currently, and there is a flash flood warning. That's that green box in effect until 4 o'clock. So that does include parts of Susquehanna County, Bradford County, Wyoming County, western Wyoming County, and western Luzerne County. That goes until, again, the 4 o'clock area. You can see the little outline highlighted there with that one here, but some moderate to heavy rain coming through the Wilkes-Barre, Hazleton area. Same thing down by Jim Thorpe in the Carbon County and Schuylkill County near Mahanoy City and Pottsville that we're watching there too. And we're still seeing some more flood warnings in effect here. So just so everyone's aware, a flash flood warning is for flash flooding specifically. That is a rapid rise in water within a few minutes or a few hours due to heavy rain. Flood warning is going to be more towards your streams, creeks, and rivers. So that's why they may be a little longer. This one in particular is still 3 o'clock, but I would not be surprised if we still see some flood warnings later tonight just because of the creeks and streams. All right, let's head up to Columbia, Montour, and Northumberland counties. Still got that flood warning until 3 o'clock. You see the heavy rain still coming through the Bloomsburg and Berwick area there along I-80. But once you get west of Bloomsburg, things are actually starting to calm down and move out. So I will say that this system is moving a bit faster than the models projected yesterday. So that is good news. This should actually probably wrap up by mid to late afternoon. For most of us here. Yesterday we were thinking probably 6 o'clock. I'm going to say 4 o'clock now for everybody. 4 or 5 o'clock when we're going to start seeing everything kind of wind down, maybe a few leftover sprinkles, but other than that, everything is quiet. Bradford County, that's where we're seeing the heavy rain up in the Towanda area. We mentioned that, but I do want to point out, you see these pink boxes here. These are called flash flood emergencies. They are outside of our area, but they are in Tioga and Potter County. This is when we're going to be talking water rescues, immense flooding, significant flooding. It's not in our area, but if you happen to know anyone in the Westfield, Wellsboro area there, Tioga or Potter County, maybe we'll let them know this is not an area you want to be driving through. We also have another flash flood warning or flash flood emergency, up in New York in Steuben County. So if you know anyone in the Bath area, they're just outside Elmira, that is where they're seeing that flash flooding, unfortunately, and significant flash flooding. In fact, here's a look at the reports so far. You can see just how much of that, those flooding reports, unfortunately, in the Jasper and Bath area. Same thing once we start getting down into Potter and Tioga. There's a few more of those flash flood reports coming in here. So we'll be watching that carefully. We're starting some warnings or some reports also in Lycoming County. These were from earlier today, but you can see we have unfortunately been seeing the flooding reports coming in there. Lycoming County under a flood warning until 1 o'clock. We'll check out that report here. So Buttonwood in the Cogan House area, 911 saying that there's 2 feet of water over the road on Route 15. That was as of 12 o'clock, so about half hour ago. So if you know anyone up in the Cogan House area who may be dealing with that, let them know that unfortunately they may encounter some flooded roadways there. And Lycoming in the Williamsport area earlier today, this is from this morning, there was flooding in Beach Street and Riverside Drive. According to this report, flood roadways all around Loyalsock Township and Williamsport. So you get the idea. There was heavy rain, unfortunately, in this area throughout the day, and we're still seeing some rain right now, but things are starting to calm down. So that should help keep the flooding kind of at where it is now, maybe not much more there, which is good news. Here's another report. This is in Snyder County. Water is coming across Kramer Ave and at Freeburg Road there in the Kramer area near Freeburg. And we also have another report in Snyder County. Intersection of Route 35 and 7 Stars Road is flooding with standing water. So we are seeing, again, the flooding reports are coming in here. That's what we got going so far. We haven't seen much in our area, and they just updated this flash flood warning with the considerable tag. Now, earlier today, we did have the tornado warning in Susquehanna County, and that's when they first updated this to the considerable tag. The considerable tag means that the flash flooding is going to be an unusual severity. So it's kind of a heightened risk compared to your typical flash flood warning. And here's why. Snake Creek in the area of Bailey Road, just down the intersection of State Road 29, is coming out of its banks and causing a road closure. So that's why they issued the flash flood warning there with the considerable tag for Susquehanna County. That continues, by the way, until 3:45. So we'll see that flash flood warning continue here, and we'll go from there. But more rain is moving into the Susquehanna County area. So that will be something to really be watching as some of this more moderate to heavy rain now starting to approach the Auburn area and western Susquehanna County starts to head into the flash flood warning. This, again, blue box is where that considerable tag is. We are also seeing the heavy rain in the Towanda Terry area, Bradford County. So this all still has to come through Susquehanna County where they've been seeing that rain. And D saying that they are getting hammered in Lycoming County. Yeah, you guys got a lot. Unfortunately, you guys got a lot of heavy rain earlier today. The good news, though, is that you can see Lycoming County specifically, things are starting to wind down. So if you're in the Coken House, Plunkett's Creek area, you are seeing some more rain coming through here. This should be, though, rather the last of it. In fact, you can see they just updated to the flash flood warning considerable tag here. So that is because of that heavy rain. So we are now seeing the considerable tag being added for Williamsport and the Coken House area. That will go until 2:30 for that. And I have this graphic here to kind of explain the different flash flood warning types, because there are different ones. You can have that considerable tag. That's what you're seeing with the blue text. There's the meaning. It's rare. It's a flash flooding that's capable of unusual severity or impact that's imminent or ongoing. What you saw with the pink boxes, you can see why I said it takes it up a notch. Exceedingly rare. A flash flood threat to life in property that's catastrophic in damage. Notice that they do trigger the wireless emergency alerts. So if you are in a Coken House, if you are in Williamsport, or you know someone in that area, it is a good bet that your phone just went off with the wireless emergency alerts. And that is why that is to let you know that there's a significant flash flood event occurring or about to occur. They do not go off for every flash flood warning. That is a change that the Weather Service made, I want to say 2 years ago. And the reason for that was because we get flash flood warnings often. So it becomes white noise. So we only want to trigger those if necessary. We don't want to bother you guys, especially like 2, 3 in the morning, if we don't have to. So that's why they made those changes. Again, I believe that was a couple years ago. And the wireless emergency alerts also go down to 1/10 of a mile now. So they've really changed it. It's not county-wide, which is good news with the new phones there. D, we're going to be talking about the rising river levels there too, because central Pennsylvania, yes, you guys will have a little bit of minor flooding due to the rivers, but we're going to talk all about that in the details of what you need to know here with that coming up shortly. But you can see again, for those just jumped on or maybe just joining us, they do have the flash flood warning now in effect for Lycoming County with that considerable tag. That goes until 2:30. And then the only other flash flood warning we have in the area with the considerable tag is this one up in Susquehanna County. That goes until 3:45, again, with the considerable tag. So please, if you are in those areas, be careful. We're really going to have to watch Susquehanna County for maybe more flooding because of the heavy rain that's getting ready to move through. So if you are in this area west of New Milford and west of I-81 in Susquehanna County, be careful. If you come across any flooded roadways, make sure turn around, don't drown. I know we say it, we're kind of a broken record, but it's important, especially with today here. And then we have the heavy rain now coming through Tunkhannock, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Back Mountain area. This is, again, all moving in your direction. So you will be seeing the more moderate to heavy rain here very shortly, probably within the next 20 minutes or so there. Another area that we need to talk about here is the wind gusts. We've been seeing wind gusts of 30 to 40 miles per hour up here. So with a saturated ground, unfortunately, that could lead to some power outages. Haven't heard reports of any significant power outages, which is good news at the moment, but that could change. So we'll be watching that carefully here as we go through the next couple of hours. All right, we had a question about the water and rivers. So let's get to that. So this is, by the way, this is a website you guys can all go to. It's called water.noaa.gov. It is free. Feel free to use it. Let me hide these bookmarks out of here so that way we can get a bigger screen. And then it's a map. You just zoom into the area that you have an interest in. So we are interested, obviously, in Pennsylvania, specifically northeast and central Pennsylvania. And these are the colors of the different gauges. So you can see we have Loyalsock Creek, we have West Branch, Susquehanna River, all those areas. And here is what those colors mean. So if it's yellow, it means action, meaning be aware, pay attention, know what's going on. Minor flooding is coming over the banks or is at the flood stage, but we're not expecting any major damage. Moderate flood stage and then major flood obviously go up from there. So let's take a look at some of these. Here we'll start off here with with Muncie. So here's a look at the expected river rise for the Susquehanna River in Muncie. Unfortunately, I don't think I can make this bigger. So hopefully this is big enough for everyone to see. But it's expecting the crest tomorrow morning, or Sunday morning. You can see the time there, August 11th, around 2 a.m. So overnight tomorrow night and into Sunday, it looks like around 21.5 feet here. Moderate flood stage would be considered 22 feet. And you can see the reports coming from the National Weather Service. That's what you're seeing there on the bottom right. It's the notifications from the Weather Service here, which is how we know. But notice how the river levels are going to go up. Right now, they are, let's see, the latest observation has it just under 12 feet. So we're not even near flood stage. Flood stage here would be 20 feet. But it is going to rise, and they expect minor flooding. And I'll even show you what minor flooding means. Again, minimal or no property damage, but possible threat to the public. It means that roads are going to be covered, coming over its banks a little bit if you're not paying attention, things like that. It's not a huge deal. So here's West Branch and Allenwood with the Susquehanna River. You can see, again, it is expected to crest this one tomorrow night around 8 o'clock, around 25 feet. So still you're talking minor flood stage. That's why you see the orange there. And more Larry's Creek, Williamsport Reach area, it flooded completely, is what Dee is saying. So Reach Road is flooded completely out there. So please be careful if Dee yourself, but also anyone else in that area with Williamsport as this rain continues to come on down. So there is near Bald Eagle State Park. Here we had Muncie, West Milton. Here's another one with West Milton. Again, expecting the minor flood stage with the crest going to be sometime tomorrow night and into your Sunday morning. But it does drop down pretty quickly. I mean, you see, it's only going to be a minor flood stage for about 12 hours or so. So it's not going to be a long duration event, which is obviously good news. But we have all that water coming down from New York, which is going to help increase these levels too. All right, here's another one. And we see how that one will be Susquehanna River and Messersopen. I believe that's how you say that. Am I saying that right, Jake? The shopping. Thank you.
Sorry.
Again, minor flood stage right around 27 to 28 feet with the crest being tomorrow night. So you're kind of getting the idea here is that the rivers are going to be cresting tomorrow night in central Pennsylvania. So it's not today. We will have the threat for tomorrow with the minor flooding. Again, unless you're right on the bank of the rivers, you should be okay. We're not going to be expecting any major flooding, where you're going to have to get out the boats and build an ark or anything. You won't have to do that with this. So if you're worried about that, don't be. You're not going to have that type of situation this time around, which is obviously good news. That's what we want to see. Okay, so we'll continue to see here. It looks like we're still getting some more of those flooding reports coming in from the Weather Service here. And I want to show also, since I know a lot of people probably asking about Old Forge and the Wilkes-Barre area, you can see the river. Yes, it's going to rise here in the Scranton and Wilkes-Barre area, but it's not really going to be too much of an issue here. We're not even expecting to get the flood stage in Wilkes-Barre. So it does get close, though. You will see the water level rise in Wilkes-Barre. It will get high again tomorrow night into Sunday, but it will stay within the banks. So nothing flooding, river flooding, at least not expected to be too much of a problem in the area right now. So hopefully that helps put some of you at ease if you're worried about the rivers in the area. All right, let's go back here to the radar because we've seen some more of those storm reports that looks like come in. We'll get an update here on the situation. So this is the radar. I'll actually turn this off and so we can see just the rain. So here's the rain the last hour. You see we're still watching that moderate to heavy rain coming through the Wilkes-Barre, Scranton area. Eastern Wyoming County starting to push into more of the Clark Summit area there in northern Lycoming County. But we're really going to, and also Jim Thorpe and Hazleton, you're seeing that heavy rain there too, down here in parts of Carbon and southern Luzerne County. There's the heavy rain in here. But my main concern, at least in the more immediate time frame, is going to be up here in Susquehanna County because we've already seen flooding in Susquehanna County. And you can see what's coming your way is more moderate to heavy rain here. So we could easily pick up another inch to inch and a half on top of already very saturated ground, and where we're seeing that flood warning here, that flash flood warning with the considerable tag. So that's what's coming in here. I'll even throw the radar on and you can see that heavy rain is now starting to move through that area. So I think for a northeast and central Pennsylvania, any immediate threat for flooding or flash flooding is definitely going to be in Susquehanna County. So please be careful there. Even when we look at the rain totals, this might take a second to load, but actually it loaded pretty quickly. But when we look at the 24-hour rain totals, we're still now starting to approach the 2.5, 3 inch mark in spots. Now this is an estimate, but you can just see it is increasing, unfortunately, in those areas. So the radar already starting to show the approximate or approaching the 3 inch mark in in Susquehanna County. Lycoming County radar estimates are actually higher. You can see they're 3.5 to maybe even 4 inches of rain, which is why you're seeing the flooding risk there. D, you've been seeing it there, and it looks like they just issued another flash flood warning here too. Lackawanna, Luzerne, and Wyoming. So now this has been including the Wilkes-Barre and Scranton area. This goes till 6:45. So we'll be watching that here too. Like the flooding will be continuing, unfortunately, throughout the next couple of hours. And you can see that new flash flood warning just came in from the National Weather Service, and it will be until 6:45. That does include the Wyoming Valley, so Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, and even Hazleton. Bear Creek area is in that. So is Clark Summit, Carbondale, Music, Pittston. Let's see, and the Avoca and the surrounding areas there as well. So it looks like this has actually froze. The computer froze on me. So that's lovely. Everything likes to crash at the wrong time. So, but try to get that fixed here. Unfortunately, that sometimes that happens. But we are still watching that heavy rain coming through. So I'm going to restart this program for us. And if you have any questions, please put them in the chat so that way we can discuss it. If you have any concerns, I want to try to help make sure that everyone kind of knows for real what's about to happen and what's to expect here. I don't want anyone to think that, like I said, you're not going to have to build an ark. We will be fine in that respect here. But I know particularly the river flooding here can be sometimes people get a little nervous with it, which is understandable, especially with some of the more past events that we've seen over the years here and everything. So here's a look outside. Let's just, come on, load. There we go. So here we go. We got it back again. So that's the rain outside our station right now. So it is coming back down. They just issued another flood warning, it looks like, here. So they're continuing to add more and more of these warnings to the area. So you get the idea, like the heavy rain is still coming down even outside our station right now. Like I can hear it actually on the windows. So we're watching that heavy rain coming into the Wilkes-Barre and Scranton area, and this is what's all moving into Susquehanna County. And again, that's why I'm saying the flood threat there in particular, I think, is going to be your biggest, more immediate concern at the region at the time. All right, let's take a look here and see what we have in terms of reports. And then we're also going to look at the rotation because there is a tornado threat with this. We do have a tornado watch in effect for about another hour here. But right now, it looks like the flooding threat is the most pressing issue. And I also, here's the severe weather outlook, by the way, if you're wondering. It is an eastern Pennsylvania risk compared to central Pennsylvania. You're not expecting any more severe weather, which is good news. But eastern Pennsylvania, we still could see a couple storms try to get a little feisty over the next a couple hour or so, but that seems to be more so winding down than anything else. Here's a look at the updated rainfall outlook, or excessive rainfall outlook, the moderate risk, and there, that red across the area. And if you're wondering what in the world does this mean, here's what the actual categories are. Moderate means numerous flash floods are likely, with some significant events possible. So many streams may flood, potentially affecting the larger rivers. We already checked the rivers. They will get high, but they will not be, you're not going to see anything like you will down here in this photo or any there where it's all over the place. It's not going to be that with this event, thankfully. You may also be wondering about the rain. So here's a look at the timing with the Futurecast, although this seems to be moving a little faster than what the models are showing, but you can see by 4 or 5 o'clock, things start to calm down for us, which is good. So earlier, last night, we were thinking it was probably going to be more so dinner time, and it looks like this might actually be even earlier than that. So that is good news. We want to get rid of the rain as fast as possible. Notice, though, we could still see a few scattered rain showers continuing till the early evening hours, and then by midnight, we are done completely. And if you are wondering, by the way, the weekend is going to be absolutely fantastic. Enjoy it. You deserve it. Take a break, let things dry out and just enjoy a fabulous weekend. And then also it's going to not be hot or humid. So there you go. After torturing you guys today with all the rain, we're going to give you a nice weekend here in the weather. So that's good news there. Okay. So let's take a look here at the reflectivity again, or the radar. And we're going to do a quick check of rotation. Like I said, I don't expect there to be much more of a tornado issue in the area. It looks like that is winding down, thankfully, but we will be watching that carefully here too. So we're just going to do a quick check just to make sure we're not missing anything. But yeah, there's no rotation here with any of these storms. Nothing too concerning at the moment. What I'd be looking for is this red and green contrast, but very tight. So it would be very, very small area that we would be watching here. And I'm not seeing that in any of the radars here. So there's the one in Fort Dix, New Jersey, that covers the Poconos. The one for Binghamton, you can see there's nothing really concerning here. State College's radar showing some very broad rotation maybe, but it's nothing to be concerned about in terms of the tornado threat at the moment. So that is some really, really good news here that is winding down with it, because when you get to the right side of a low like this here, we call it the right front quadrant. So if the storm is going this way and let me take that off. If that's your direction, because the storm is going in the direction of this arrow, this area here would be your concern for severe weather, which is why we're watching it closely. So this would be your severe weather area in this area, this quadrant. But things look to be winding down, so that is the good news there. So that's how we figure it out. The right front quadrant. It's the front of the low, and the right side of it there too, as it comes on through. So watching that carefully. It looks like, did they issue another flash flood emergency? Zooming out real quick. Nope. Oh, it's in. They did for New York. Okay, it's not us. That's good news. All right, so we're gonna clean this up a little bit here because there's a lot of stuff all over the place. So let's clean this up so that way you have a clue what's going on here. So we do have the flood warnings all over the place. Let me turn off everything but flash flood for you because those are our main concerns. Yes, we know that flooding is a possibility for everyone, but here's a look at the actual flash flood warnings here. So this is only flash flood warnings. You got the one in Lycoming County that goes until 2:30 with the considerable tag. That does include Williamsport, and we've been seeing, and they just actually issued another storm report, unfortunately, in the Lycoming County area. I'm trying to fix this here. There you go. So they issued another storm report, it looks like, in the Lycoming County area for the flash flood. Much of the town of Trot Run is being evacuated due to flash flooding. Emily, did you hear that? Much of the town of Trot Run is being evacuated due to flash flooding in Lycoming County.
Yes, I just.
Okay. So unfortunately, they're dealing with flooding there, it looks like, and much of the town is now being evacuated due to the flash flooding threat. There, so we still got some ways to go. Flash flood warning continuing in Bradford County, all Bradford County, Western Wyoming, Susquehanna County, and Luzerne County. That goes till 4 o'clock. We also have the one for Sullivan County that goes till 3:30. And then we have the one that includes the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton area. That's Eastern Luzerne, Eastern Wyoming, and all of Lackawanna County. That goes till 6:45. And as we take a look here at the considerable tag there in Susquehanna County, that also goes up to Binghamton there in New York. That goes till 3:45. But you get the idea. We are unfortunately still dealing with this heavy rain, and it's going to continue for the next couple of hours. There, Scranton, you're about to really start seeing that rain come down hard if it hasn't already. You already saw the video of our area, of outside our station, with the heavy rain. That is going to be approaching downtown Scranton any moment, and then eventually the South Abington, Carbondale area. So basically it's along 81 and the Northeast Extension there, and it's about to cross over if it hasn't already. But we're still monitoring that heavy rain threat. Here, let me see if I can find the precipitation rate. So this can get a little messy, but let's see if we, just to get an idea here of the rainfall rates. So this is if the storm just sat over you, did not move, okay? This is the rate at the rainfall is coming down, about an inch per hour there. Wilkes-Barre, just about 2 inches per hour. So you get the idea. We're coming to more of an inch to about maybe 2.5 inches per hour rates, which is why flash flooding is still a concern in those areas. Here's up in Susquehanna County, like I said, the area that I think has the most concern right now, or the most immediate concern. You're saying, again, 2.5 inches rate there, 3 inch per hour rates is starting to come into that area that already had the flash flooding. So we're adding that on top of it. Now, the good news is this is moving. I throw it in the motion. Here's the last hour. You can see it is moving, but regardless, it is pouring in some of these areas. It literally is coming down in buckets in some cases. So the good news is for those of you in the flash flood warning there in Susquehanna County, at least the first round of heavy to moderate rain is starting to exit the flash flood warning area with the considerable tag. It's starting to now move east of 81. But you do have that second round here that is starting to approach the area and already crossing the county line from Bradford. So you're starting to see that second round approach the area. Speaking of which, Bradford County, still under that flash flood warning, but your rainfall is starting to wind down. So you're going to start seeing things improve for you. Same thing here in Lycoming County, where we have that other flash flood warning with the considerable tag. Yes, you still see some heavy rain coming through, especially north of Williamsport in the Gamble and areas, but like Cogan House, for example, you're okay at this point. Things are going to get better. Hepburn there as well. And for everyone who's just maybe jumping on, we did get a storm report here that I want to make sure everyone's aware of. If you know anyone in this area, that Trout Run, much of the town is being evacuated due to flash flooding. So if you know anyone in or around that area, or maybe heading in that direction, if they're evacuating due to flash flooding, obviously not a good idea to be around there. So you want to stay away from the Trout Run area if you can right now, as they are obviously going through a very serious situation there. Here, and that flash flood warning, by the way, continues until 2:30. Please make sure that you guys are not driving through floodwaters. I know, again, we say that all the time, but it really is important. In fact, just to give you an idea of why we hone on it so much and harp on this so much, let me show you this graphic here, if I can find it. Where did I put it? Here it is. All right. This is how much water it requires to move an adult. 6 inches of water. Okay. That's all it takes. Just 6 inches, not even a foot. 1 foot of water can carry away a small car. All right. Think of like a more of a Honda Civic type of car. All right. Or maybe a Nissan Versa. Once you start getting to your larger SUVs, maybe a Pacifica or a Forester, now you're talking 18 to 24 inches. So 1.5 feet to 2 feet of water is all it takes to move that. Okay. And think of just how heavy those vehicles are. 1 foot of water can move it. All right. So do you think if 1 foot of water can move a car, what chance do you have standing in it? That's why we harp on this so much. So I know it becomes white noise, but there's a good reason for it. I mean, you can see the heavy rain still coming down outside our station, and it's been about the last 5 to 10 minutes across the area here. So unfortunately, something that we are watching very carefully, and hopefully will not become too much of a problem. I do want to check out power outages, though, because we are seeing those strong winds too. We do have a wind advisory in effect for the Poconos itself, but let's take a look here at the power outage map, because we do have some power outages to talk about here. So here's the latest map. You can see the last update was at 12:36. So it's about 25 minutes ago, but we'll still take a look at it. About 24 to 2,500 customers out in Lycoming County. It looks like most of that is PPL electric. About 1,100 customers in Lycoming County out due to the power outages. In Sullivan County, you're talking almost 500, with a lot of those being First Energy. So most of the First Energy, most of the outages are due to the First Energy. It looks like there. Columbia County, just over 1,000. Montour County, looking okay, 86, 900 in Northumberland County. Union around 158. Snyder is around 450. We check there. Bradford's doing all right, or at least power-wise. It looks around 45. Susquehanna County, same thing. Wayne County around 1,600. So we are also watching out even in eastern Pennsylvania. There, 1,600. Lackawanna County around 650, 700 for you. Same thing in Luzerne County. Wyoming County doing okay. Carbon, you're around 778. It looks like Schuylkill County around 2,100. So we are seeing those power outages around. Monroe County around 2,600. So I think that's the highest that we've had. Yeah, so right now the power outages are greatest in Monroe County at 2,600 here, because of in part the wind, but also the rain. You put the power lines and water and wind together, you're going to end up getting unfortunately, the power outages that we're starting to see, it looks like, in those areas here. I also wanted to show you all, these were from this morning, but it at least gives you an idea of how much rain we've already seen. So let me find Pennsylvania so we don't, so I don't waste your time here. There we go. Here's a look at the rainfall reports from the National Weather Service. So Pennsylvania is here. Everything down is Pennsylvania. You can see the times here as well in this column. But while losing just under an inch as of early this morning, so Bradford County, you're looking anywhere from around a half to just under an inch of rain earlier this morning. Lackawanna, before the heavy rain came through, you were around a half an inch to 3/4 of an inch. But look at Luzerne County. We had that heavy rain come through overnight, and we were already over an inch as of 8:45, 9 o'clock this morning. We've obviously added some rain since then. So we are watching to see what those totals go up. The airport itself at 8:54 had 0.64 inches. So that would be what the official report will be at Luzerne County, at least at that point. Susquehanna County, well, when you look at totals like this, like in Montrose, it's not hard to understand why the flash flood warning is what it is. I mean, they're already over an inch and 3/4 there. Wyoming County, Tunkhannock, a report of nearly 2 inches. And that was as of 8 o'clock this morning. So we've, again, obviously added since then. And it's not hard to figure out why there's all these flood warnings going out and flash flood warnings going out here when you have that type of situation here. So, but the good news is things look to be starting to wind down, at least in central Pennsylvania, where we look at the radar here, clear this out. I'll give you the big picture. I mean, you can see the majority of the heavy rain, at least the widespread heavy rain, I should say, it's already clearing Bloomsburg. It's already cleared Montour and Northumberland and Snyder and Union County. So we're already starting to see those improvements or conditions improve in central Pennsylvania, but we still have to get through Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, the Wyoming Valley area, of course, and then the Hazleton, Jim Thorpe, Poconos, all have to get through there. Looks like they've issued another report. This one, let's see where that is. Is that Bradford? Is that the one? So they just issued this report here for Canton saying, and Bradford, that roads are flooded there with the flash flood. So please be careful again if you do. And they just issued, it looks like, a wind advisory. So the wind advisory there, let me turn this off so we can clear it out for you. So there's the wind advisory, all in that tannish color. That goes until 8 o'clock tonight. See what they have there for gusts up to 40 miles per hour. So they're talking for gusts frequently up to 40 miles per hour in the Northeast Pennsylvania area. So that's everyone that you see highlighted in, again, that tannish color, and also the Poconos. The Poconos, you can go up to 50 miles per hour. So you add that in with the soaked ground, you understand why now power outages are starting to become an issue across the area here. They just upgraded the flash flood warning to considerable for Scranton and Wilkes-Barre. So now we're starting to get to a point where the flash flooding threat is starting to become considerable in the area. And your phones are going off because of the wireless emergency alerts. So now Wilkes-Barre and Scranton is under a considerable flash flood warning. Folks, this is when things start getting a little bit more serious with that heavy rain. So please be careful out there on the roadways here. Again, in the Wilkes-Barre and Scranton area, that goes until 6:45 with this flash flood warning. We'll see if they make changes to that. Hopefully they don't upgrade it, because then that takes it to the flash flood emergency level. So hopefully they will not go there. We don't have to go there, but you get the idea. So we are starting to see the flood threat in the Scranton, Wilkes-Barre area, Wyoming Valley starting to increase due to this heavy rain that's coming through right now. I will say the good news is that you can see what's behind it. Not much. So once we get through what this batch of heavy rain, which is starting to wind down, at least in Wilkes-Barre itself. It's Scranton, you're about to get it. But once this winds down, things will start to improve gradually. You'll still get a little bit of rain, maybe in a quick downpour, but you won't. It won't be for long duration, which is good news. So we now have 3 considerable flash flood warnings in the area. One in Susquehanna County till 3:45. The one for Scranton and Wilkes-Barre, that goes till 6:45. And then you have the one out here that's in the Williamsport area with D there, and that goes until 2:30. And it has been observed. So you can see how they even marked it as observed there. So at least in Lycoming County, it has been observed with the flash flooding. They have not put the observed tag here for Scranton and Wilkes-Barre. This is radar indicated. So let's even take a look here at the radar estimated totals. And I'll throw this on so you can see the area too. Turn that off so we actually get this. All right. So you can see why they're starting to increase it. So so far we've been radar estimates around close to 3 inches of rain coming through this area, 2.5 to 3 inches of rain occurring, with the batch of heavy rain now being added on top of that. So Scranton, you can see this is coming your way. Radar estimates in the last 24 hours only put you around 1/2 inch. And you can see Back Mountain area 2.5 getting close to 3 inches. So we have heavy rain coming your way, and hopefully things will not be too bad there. But they have it thrown on the flash flood warning with the considerable tag again, at least for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton area there. And we also seen estimates in parts of Wyoming County even eclipsing 3 inches. That's that purple color that you're seeing there. John, happy birthday. Sorry for the awful weather. I wish I could bring you better weather, but happy birthday. Hopefully tomorrow, this weekend. The good news is this weekend's going to be nice. So you actually be able to get out and enjoy the weekend, hopefully there. And you can celebrate once we get rid of this rain. But guys, here's why they just issued that flash flood warning with that tag. This is what's coming down outside right now in the Wilkes-Barre Scranton area. So very heavy rain. If you know anyone driving in the area, it would not be a bad idea to tell them maybe wait and hold off. If you are in low-lying areas or low-lying poor drainage areas, that's where you can expect a lot of the flooding. It looks like even a lot of water being kicked up there by the cars themselves as the rain is coming down. In fact, let's take a look at some of these 511 cameras, if I can. There we go. So we know where the flash flood warning is. Let me see if I can pull up a camera to show you guys what. Not really seeing. Trying to find one that maybe shows you exactly what we're dealing with right now. But if you have any questions or any comments, please let me know there in the chat. Here is a look at 309 exit 3. So you can see how, as the car's driving by, how much water they're just kicking up there as they drive on by. Here, that's the PennDOT camera, 309. So definitely got the heavy rain coming down, unfortunately, across the area. Not too many cars. Yeah, thankfully there aren't too many cars, and that's helpful. That is definitely helpful in something like this. So there's that. Can you put there and then maybe even 80 in the Poconos? Sure. Here is by the airport. So this is, what is that, 180? 180 exit? Yeah, that's exit 180 right by yeah. So you can definitely see the heavy rain, though, that is coming down in the Scranton area now. So, and cars are definitely not traveling as fast as they used to really do. They're actually probably following the speed limit today. One thing to add into with bad weather like this, I mean, you see a lot of
the different cars and everything on here, but try to have your headlights on and everything as well, because it's important. Oh, hi, Mike. Thank you. It's important to have your headlights on and everything as you're going through, just in case you can't see anything. There's any type of cloud, any fog that appears. Just make sure you have your headlights on, and if you have to, throw your flashers on if you are out driving.
It's also against the law not to have them on.
That too.
You can get a ticket. So make sure you have them on, because it is against Pennsylvania state law to not have your headlights on in rain like this when your windshield wipers are going. So sure. Where am I? Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to. There we are. What are you looking for here?
Maybe like the 83-80 split.
Wind damage in Blakesley.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. You were saying 83-80?
Yeah, maybe right over there. There's a camera right there.
Is this the one you are asking about? Yeah. That's 84.
Oh, maybe it's down there. There.
Right here?
Yep.
Okay.
That area, let's just see. In like the long pond area.
Yeah. So we'll pull this up for you. So here's the long pond camera. There we go. We'll play it. Not too bad right now.
Seems like a lot of it hasn't come over.
By the way, if you guys have any requests for cameras or locations and stuff, put them in the chat. I can go through them here. Mostly it's going to be I-81, 80, and 476. That's usually where they are. So we're watching that here. But we did have a few more reports come in. So let me pull this up so you guys can actually see it. That'd probably be helpful. We'll get some of these more reports that are coming in here because they keep adding them. So we are now starting to see some wind damage reports in the Poconos. That's what you're seeing there. So in east side, down tree on 531, both directions between the I-80 East Stroudsburg exit and Tannery Road, with all lanes closed there in Carbon County. So, we're watching that as well. Here's another report. Oh, that's the same one. Here's another one. This one in Blakesley, down trees and wires on 115 and Carrick Road and Caldwell Road there, with all lanes closed. So we're starting to now see issues on the roads and road closures in the Poconos. 115 there. It looks like also by 180. Another one where all lanes are closed here in Stroud Township in Monroe County. That is Parker Lane and Cranberry Heights Drive, with all lanes closed there. So please be careful with that. We probably could actually get this one on the camera. We probably could get this on the camera here, the east side one. So we'll try that here carefully. So zoom out here. Let's see, maybe. So this is 277, or exit 277 there. First off, you can again notice that heavy rain that's coming down the area. But let's see if 380, no, Lake Harmony area, Pocono Pines. So that's Long Pond. You can even see the report there with down trees on the wires. Here's the Whitehaven one. All directions closed, Stroudsburg and Tannery Road, with that one near the Whitehaven. Excuse me if I can speak. Oops, sorry, just gave you all whiplash. So this is okay. This is right by the where you get off for the turnpike. All right, so this is if you are going up the Northeast Extension and you get off of the Pocono exit and you go past Wawa. That is Wawa will be on your right in this direction. You're going away from Lake Harmony towards Whitehaven, and that's where they're reporting the trees and down and everything. It's near the IHOP there. Mm-hmm. Good pancakes.
Yeah, it's $5.
Ooh. Looks like they're also showing an incident there. Right lane is blocked, so expect delays on 476 North. Sam, you actually just drove recently down. Did you drive through the heavy rain?
Yeah, I actually did. I drove up from Wayne County, And my drive, honestly, I drive a Toyota 4Runner, and my car slipped down a hill a little bit because of how severe the rain was, how wet the roads were. And additionally, my wipers were on the strongest setting, and even that felt like it wasn't enough.
Yeah, so we're still seeing the heavy rain there, but obviously glad that you got here safely.
Yes, yeah,
So,
we made it.
by the way, for those of you who may not know, Sam Durante, new reporter who just joined us. So welcome to your first tropical system.
Yeah, it's definitely been a hectic day. I brought a lunch and a dinner, so we're ready for the long run today.
Yeah, thankfully, though, things should start to wind down here relatively soon, at least weather-wise. So
definitely.
I don't think you're going to have to go out and find a lot of damage, hopefully.
That's the hope. Fingers crossed.
Jake, you had something? Oh, okay. I thought maybe you needed something. Oh, okay. All right. So that is what we're dealing with right now, my friends. We obviously got the flash flood warning, still continuing to monitor them and what is coming across the area. So let's go through the flash flood warnings again for you all. Let you know what's going on here. You still got the considerable one. That's the blue outlines for Susquehanna County, Wyoming, Luzerne, and Lackawanna. That does include the Wilkes-Barre, Scranton area, and as well as Williamsport. That's what the report said, yes. Here, let me double check because I don't want to say yes real quick. Sorry, Emily, our wonderful digital producer, is asking me something about Trout Run, so make sure I got that report correctly for you here. Yes, Trout Run in Lycoming County. All right. There. So, but like I said, folks, thankfully this is starting to wind down here, hopefully within the next couple of hours. You guys putting that into motion, you can see where the heavy rain is starting to move out of at least central Pennsylvania. So things are improving, at least in those areas. Just please be careful with the flooded roadways and also the flash flood warnings. Not seeing too much reports in the Wilkes-Barre Scranton area, at least right now. So hopefully that is good news. But obviously we got the heavy rain. So just please be careful. Make sure you're not driving into floods. You all know how this works. So please just be careful, be smart, and that is pretty much it. So thank you all for tuning in for this for almost nearly an hour talking about heavy rain. Things are starting to wind down. They will wind down within the next couple of hours. And we'll have a much better weekend ahead to talk about tonight at 10. So enjoy the rest of your Friday. Stay safe. Anything changes, anything major occurs, we'll be right back on here to let you know about it. But until then, guys, have a great rest of your Friday. Thanks for watching.